The nature of work is changing. Paid employment is becoming less secure. There is more part-time work than ever, more casual work, more gig and platform work. Real wages are dropping and job security is nearly absent.
Victorians reeling from the rising costs of living will soon face power bill increases of about $60 a year.
Now, the Precarious consists of millions of people defined by three dimensions.
The Precarious experiences unstable labour and an unstable living. They work multiple jobs for very little income and very little security. They must rely on money wages rather than non-wage benefits like social security protections, which continue to be stripped away. And meanwhile, they're losing civil, cultural, social and political rights. They don't see themselves reflected in mainstream political interests. In his theory of capital, Karl Marx talked about an industrial reserve army or reserve army of labour as being a necessary product and context for capitalistic accumulation. Having a pool of willing workers to choose from who are disenfranchised, marginalised and desperate to survive means that the bourgeoisie, or owners of the means of production, can have greater control over the terms of employment. For example, by keeping wages low to cut production costs and improve return to capital. Karl Marx talked about this reserve army as a lever of capitalistic accumulation. By keeping workers in a state of instability, precariousness and uncertainty, the bourgeoisie maintains its power over these workers. The precariat of today are in a similar situation. They are precariously and underemployed, with very little power to fight back for better conditions. If they make too much of a fuss, the bourgeoisie will just terminate their employment and find another willing worker to take their place. Hardest hit are often those who belong to already marginalised groups, and therefore have even less power to begin with. These include young people, women, and particularly women of colour and First Nations women, who are already typically overrepresented in terms of those living in poverty across the globe. This has drastic flow-on effects for dependents of these workers, including children. Marx called for workers of the world to unite and break their chains. Indeed, he talked about the need to crush and tear down the capitalist system through revolution to achieve freedom. Marx also saw trade unions where workers come together and collectivise as a necessary part of the journey towards class consciousness. That is, as a way for workers to better understand their place in the capitalist system, including the way it oppresses them, and to find a way together to correct this. As an alternative to full-blown revolution, workers can also claim back some of their power by withdrawing their labour, for instance by going on strike. This is most effective if all workers agree to do this at once, because employers are left with fewer alternative sources of labour to turn to. Amongst other strategies, this can help to even out the playing field and create a kind of gentler capitalism. As a long-term strategy, though, Marx would argue that unionism and collectivism alone do not fix the power imbalances and subsequent oppressions that are embedded in capitalism itself. At the heart of capitalism lies the accumulation of capital, and, Marx would argue, the bourgeoisie will continue to prioritise this at all costs.